We're looking at 10 Americans who are surprisingly Muslim. But let's just start off this list with number 10. We have Mahershala Ali. Mahershala Ali was raised as a Christian by his mother, who was an ordained minister, and then in the year 2000, that's when he converted to Islam. And at the 2017 Screen Actors Guild Awards, he accepted the Best Supporting Actor award for his performance in the movie Moonlight. Now, he said this in his own words: "I think what I've learned from working on Moonlight is we see what happens when we persecute people." Mahershala Ali said he hopes that the US can do a better job at acceptance and can celebrate people's differences rather than go to war over them.
I want to thank my teachers, my professors, I had so many wonderful teachers.
Number 9 brings us Dave Chappelle. Yes, legendary comedian Dave Chappelle. So he converted to Islam in the 1990s. And then there was an interview that he did with Time magazine where he explained why he doesn't often discuss Islam publicly. This is what he said in his own words, and I quote, "I don't normally talk about my religion publicly because I don't want people to associate me and my flaws with this beautiful thing. I believe it is beautiful if you learn it the right way." And you know, several years ago, Donald Trump's Muslim ban in America encouraged Dave Chappelle as well as others to join protesters at a rally in Dayton, Ohio, where he gave a brief speech. He said, "I support refugees, I support immigrants, and I love my friends and neighbors."
I like making memories. Sometimes I do all this crazy around my colleagues just so that they can tell their friends I did it.
Next up in this episode, we have Hasan Minhaj. Hasan Minhaj is a comedian. He's also a producer, actor, writer, TV host. He was even a YouTuber at one point. But now, most famously, he's known for his weekly Netflix show, Patriot Act, which, by the way, has a new season that is in progress right now. But anyways, his first stand-up comedy special, Homecoming King, debuted on Netflix back in May 23rd, 2017. Now, growing up Muslim in California, Hasan Minhaj says that his Islamic faith doesn't actually dictate where he goes with his comedic career. Rather, his faith has allowed him to see life from a very unique perspective because he regularly draws on personal life experiences where he feels like he was the odd one out because of his faith. After several years working at The Daily Show, as well as the success of his stand-up comedy special, and he did a phenomenal White House roast at the White House Correspondents' Dinner back in 2017, Hasan Minhaj then he landed his Netflix deal, and now he has his weekly show among many other things that he's up to right now.
Who would have thought, with everything going on in the country right now, that a Muslim would be standing on this stage?
Lupe Fiasco comes in at number 7. Lupe Fiasco was born with the birth name Wasalu Muhammad Jaco, and he was actually born into a Muslim family. Now, after originally disliking rap music because of its very vulgar themes sometimes, Lupe Fiasco really aimed to create a unique style of rap that kept his Muslim faith in mind. Now, in an interview with Katie Couric, he explained how Islam really helped him to correct his own mistakes. However, Lupe Fiasco has also said that due to his personal flaws, he is very hesitant to be a poster boy for Islam. Now, back when that executive order against Muslims was done in America, he had tweeted this: "The first refugee immigrants who sought safe haven in America and then committed terrorist acts against the indigenous citizens were white people." Now, according to him, what people need to really focus on going forward, especially in America, is having a greater focus on education and to think more broadly about religion. Number 6 brings us the gorgeous Gigi Hadid. She was born Yelena Noura Hadid on April 23rd, 1995 to a Dutch model whose name was Yolanda Hadid and a Palestinian-born real estate developer, Mohammed Hadid. Her modeling career began at a very young age, actually, and then later on she was signed to IMG Models when she was just 17 years old. But Hadid's career started, of course, like I mentioned, way before that. She was discovered when she was just 2 years old, to be exact, and she appeared on a number of baby guests as well as guest kids campaigns.
I'm really pushing myself this week.
Alright guys, so at number 5 we have the sister of Gigi Hadid, Bella Hadid. Go figure. She was born in Washington, D.C. in the United States. Of course, she is known for her looks and she has become a supermodel as well. And Bella Hadid has represented some of the top luxury brands in the entire world. She's of course half Palestinian like her sister and Dutch, and her view on religion was heard a lot louder after this whole Donald Trump Muslim ban thing. I know this was several years ago, but it's still a big thing that has rocked America, especially in the Muslim community. Now, Bella Hadid, she condemned the travel ban, and since then she has been a lot more vocal about her faith, saying that she is a proud Muslim. Bella, she really encourages a lot of people to really show compassion despite the differences between people, whether it be race or religion. People are people, period.
I'm feeling so weird today.
Honestly, I think it's just Mercury retrograde.
I know.
Janet Jackson comes in at number 4, and she is, of course, an American singer, songwriter, and actress, and dancer, and also the sister of the late and great Michael Jackson. She's definitely a prominent figure in pop culture, and she's known for her elaborate stage performances. But later on in her life, she married a Qatari businessman named Wissam Al-Meina, and Janet Jackson then reportedly converted to Islam in preparation for the birth of her son. And her son's name is Isa, which translates to God is salvation in Arabic. Moving on now to number 3, Sophia Ali. She was born in November of 1995 in San Diego, California, and now she belongs to a Pakistani Muslim family, and she's also known for her acting performance in the MTV romantic comedy series Faking It, as well as ABC medical drama series Grey's Anatomy. That show has so many seasons. I keep trying to watch it on Netflix and I'm like, no, this is gonna take a lifetime to finish all these episodes. In any case, Sophia Ali, she has also starred in the horror film Truth or Dare back in 2018, but she became really famous after appearing on the TV show Grey's Anatomy. That was a show that actually really brought her in the limelight a lot more. She played the role of Dalia Qadri, who is a Muslim doctor who wears a hijab all throughout the show.
I'll study. I'll make flashcards. You should see my flashcards because my handwriting is basically a font. I mean, I even use diagrams, see?
Okay guys, so we're almost done this episode. At number 2, we have Akon. And now this guy, he was born in St. Louis, Missouri in the United States. And Akon has so many titles under his belt. I mean, like, he's a singer, songwriter, producer. He's also a philanthropist, actor, and a businessman. And Akon, he founded 2 very successful record labels, Convict Music back in 2004, as well as Con Live Distribution. Now, in one of his songs, he said, "So what you know about how God comes first in our lives? Everything that we do is for Allah." Now let's end off this episode at number 1 with DJ Khaled. Khaled bin Abdul Khaled, just simply known as DJ Khaled, is an American rapper, producer, as well as of course a DJ. It's in his name. I mean, he yells it in every single song. For DJ Khaled, honestly, being a Muslim is more than just an identity. He says in his own words that it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's incredible, and it has put so many blessings upon me and my family. That's according to him. Now, there's been quite a bit of controversy. A lot of people say that, well, his lifestyle doesn't necessarily represent being a Muslim, but nevertheless, he identifies with the religion of Islam and says it has played a big part in his life. We're coming back here with part 2. Some of these Americans that I'm going to be mentioning in this episode were not necessarily born in the United States of America, but they all do have American citizenship. Also, I gotta mention, don't forget to watch this episode until the end so you don't miss any of these people coming up. Anyway, starting at number 10, we have Asif Manvi. Asif Manvi is an actor and a comedian, and he's probably best known for his role as the Daily Show correspondent. He was born in India, and he spent quite a bit of his childhood in the United Kingdom before his family ended up moving to Tampa, Florida. In one interview with the Tampa Bay Times, he said this: "My experience in the Daily Show is that sometimes you get the thing that you want, but in a way that you never expected to get it." Fareed Zakaria comes in at number 9. He was born in India, he's a journalist, and he hosts his own show on CNN. He's also an editor for Time magazine, and he also writes a foreign affairs column for the Washington Post. Fareed Zakaria was raised by Muslim parents, although he says that he doesn't consider himself a particularly religious person. Number 8 brings us Ice Cube. He's an American rapper, actor, and movie producer. O'Shea Jackson, aka Ice Cube, as he's better known as, says that he doesn't practice a faith in the traditional sense. Now, in his own words, he kind of clarifies, so this is what he says. What I call myself is a natural Muslim, because it's just me and God. And this is what he told The Guardian in 2000. And he continues to say, you know, going to the mosque, the ritual and the tradition, it's just not in me to do, so I don't do it. The American at number 7 is French Montana, but his real name is Karim Karabouch, but of course he's more well known for his stage name French Montana. He's a Moroccan-American rapper, and he was born and raised in Morocco, and then he emigrated to the United States with his family at the age of 13 years old. Now, in regards to his religion, this is what he had to say. My religion plays a big role in my success. It's just about doing positive. You fear not doing the right thing. Shore Agdaslu comes in at number 6. Now, she has a very recognizable voice.
I'm afraid Sam is not available. Call back later. Thank you.
She's an Iranian-American actress that was born into a Muslim family. Now, back in the year 2013, in an interview with the Los Angeles Times, she said that her Muslim identity probably had cost her some film roles. Now, interesting fact, although a director by the name of George Nolfi wanted her for the role of God in the 2011 movie The Adjustment Bureau, she actually wasn't casted for the part. She was let go from that part. But this is what she says in her own words. I say I was born a Muslim. I don't introduce myself as a Muslim woman, but I guess the distribution company put the dots together and felt it's too early for this. At number 5, we have the American rapper Raekwon. Now, he converted to Islam back in the year 2009. Raekwon was born by the name Corey Woods, and he was asked by GQ magazine in 2017 if he was keeping up with the news about Donald Trump's travel ban on refugees and visitors from 7 predominantly Muslim countries. And in a quote, this is what he says. Allah, he's going to let it be what it be. And whenever he wants to fix it, he's going to fix it. Right now, I'm just focusing on my children, my career, and really just letting it be what it's going to be. At the end of the day, it'll work itself out. Next up in this episode at number 4, we have Ibu Patel.
I immigrated from India to the United States when I was very young, and I'm from a Muslim family.
Ibu Patel was a member of President Barack Obama's inaugural advisory council on faith-based neighborhood partnerships. Now, after earning a doctorate from Oxford University, Ibu Patel actually wanted to give public service a shot. Ibu Patel says that his Interfaith Youth Corps is one of the largest interreligious organizations in all of North America. These staff members actually train thousands and thousands of students on nearly 500 college campuses. Dean Obeidallah comes in next at number 3. Now, this man is a lawyer who then later became a comedian as well as a cultural commentator. Now, he also has his own show that he hosts on SiriusXM, and that show is his name, The Dean Obeidallah Show. Now, in his own words, he said that polls show that if you know a Muslim, you are much more likely to have a positive view of all Muslims. So this is why one of his signature lines that he opens up his show with, he always says this: I'd like to be your Muslim friend. Of course, working to change the perception that many Americans have about the Muslim community. But Dean Obeidallah, he's one of the first Muslims to host a national radio show, and from time to time you can see him on TV networks like CNN. Sophie Ali comes in number 2 in this episode. She was born in November 1995 in San Diego, California, and she came from a Pakistani Muslim family. She's best known for her acting role in the MTV romantic comedy series Faking It, as well as ABC's medical drama series Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, that show has seasons for days. You'll be watching that forever. Grey's Anatomy fans know exactly what I'm talking about. But either way, she also appeared in the 2018 horror film Truth or Dare. But, you know, she became really famous after appearing in Grey's Anatomy. That show really skyrocketed her to a lot more fame. Sophia, she played the role of Dalia Qadri, who was a Muslim doctor, and in the show, her character wears a hijab. And finally, at number 1, we have Nasim Pedrad. Nasim Pedrad was born on November 18, 1981. Now, she's an American actress, and she's a comedian, and she's best known for her 5 seasons as a member on Saturday Night Live from the years 2009 up until 2014. Nasim Pedrad was born in Tehran, Iran to a Muslim family, and in her own words, she said, "I knew at a young age that I wanted to do comedy, and maybe part of that was trying to fit in at school because I had a weird name. And my parents had these accents, and I was definitely a late bloomer." Also, some of you may recognize her for her role as Dahlia in Disney's live-action Aladdin movie. Let me know down below in the comment section if any of these on this list really surprised you, or did you expect to see other people on this list as well. And also, if you have any other thoughts and comments about anything that I shared in this episode or anything at all, let me know down below.
The banning of the Muslims, the dehumanization of the communities that I come from, that has been our reality for the past 15 years.
Muslims in America are letting their voices be heard louder than ever and are making moves in America like never before. Let's see exactly which American Muslims are leaving their mark in the most notable ways. Now, the first American that's blazing a whole new type of trail is Hasan Minhaj.
Everyone that says your name says Hasan Minhaj.
Yeah, but the real way you pronounce it, it's Hasan Minhaj.
Hasan Minhaj is a comedian, writer, producer, actor, and television host, now most famously known for his weekly Netflix show, Patriot Act. His first stand-up comedy special, Homecoming King, debuted on Netflix on May 23, 2017. Growing up Muslim in California, Hasan Minhaj says that his Islamic faith doesn't dictate where he goes with his comedy. Rather, his faith allows him to see life from a unique angle as he regularly draws on personal life experiences where he felt like the odd man out because of his faith. After several years working at The Daily Show and a successful stand-up comedy special, as well as a phenomenal roast at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2017.
But it feels like I'm watching CNN watch the news.
Hasan Minhaj landed a deal with Netflix to host his own weekly show, and it's pretty awesome because I watch it all the time.
A police officer is under investigation. Before making a statement, they can say, "Hey, can I look at the tape first?" And then they watch the game tape and then make their statement.
Yes.
That's like cheating, though.
It can be.
Next up, we have G. Willow Wilson. So Gwendolyn Willow Wilson is her full name, and she's a comic book writer as well as a journalist. When she guest wrote 2 issues of Superman, however, her critics accused her of spreading Sharia law through the comic. Now, it's a little bit ironic that G. Willow Wilson is one of the creators of a superhero named Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel is the first comic book series to feature a Muslim American superhero as its main character. Her first graphic novel, Cairo, was written after living for a time in Egypt and was listed as one of the top graphic novels for teens. She has also written a memoir about her conversion to Islam. So the next person I want to look at now is Ibtihaj Muhammad. Ibtihaj Muhammad is no stranger to the stereotypes about Muslim women. I mean, she's gotten all of them. Muslim women are oppressed, they can't express themselves through their fashion or anything like that, and they're not even allowed to play sports because sports are just for men only. But she says, "I speak English, I like wearing bright colors, I'm athletic, I'm on Team USA." Now, you may not be aware, but back in 2016, Ibtihaj Muhammad, she became the first Muslim American to wear a hijab in the Olympic Games. She's a sword fighter, and she'd won a bronze medal in the Team Saber event. She runs a fashion line, and she speaks out about tolerance and diversity. She also has a Barbie doll made after her, and that's pretty cool. I want to have a toy created after me too.
This summer, be the first Muslim woman to represent Team USA while wearing the hijab.
Number 7 brings us to Rep. Andre Carson. Andre Carson was born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana, and he earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice management from the Concordia University, Wisconsin, and a master's in business management from Indiana Wesleyan University. Andre Carson converted to Islam when he was 16 years old, and a year later he says he was arrested by Indianapolis police as they tried to enter his local mosque without probable cause. The whole experience helped motivate Carson to become a police officer himself.
We have been singled out in the national spotlight as threats to be dealt with and not a part of our American family.
And he gravitated towards counterintelligence work. Now, as a member of the House of Intelligence Committee, Carson is one of 2 Muslims in Congress where he represents Indiana's 7th District. Ibu Patel is next on the list. Ibu Patel was a member of President Barack Obama's inaugural Advisory Council on Faith-Based Neighborhood Partnerships. But after earning a doctorate from Oxford University, Ibu Patel wanted to give public service a try.
And part of what we've done at Interfaith Youth Corps is identify a model of effectiveness in interfaith cooperation that we call the Interfaith Triangle. 3 sides of that triangle are attitudes, relationships, and knowledge.
Ibu Patel says his Interfaith Youth Corps is one of the largest interreligious organizations in North America. He has a budget of $8.5 million and he has 45 people on staff. These staff members train thousands of students on nearly 500 college campuses. Halfway through, we gotta mention Dean Obeidallah. This guy is a lawyer who became a comedian and a cultural commentator. He's the host of a SiriusXM show, the Dean Obeidallah Show, and he said that polls show that if you know a Muslim, you are much more likely to have a positive view of all Muslims. And that's why whenever he opens up his show, he always says, "I'd like to be your Muslim friend."
My name's Dean Obeidallah and I want to be your Muslim friend. That's how I start my radio show every day.
Dean is one of the first American Muslims to host a national radio show. He also is a contributor to various publications and appears on CNN regularly. We're coming down to the wire. At number 4, we have Rep. Keith Ellison. Keith Ellison became the first Muslim American elected to serve in Congress. He's serving as the 30th Attorney General of Minnesota.
Democratic Congressman Keith Ellison, the first Muslim elected to Congress, has taken the lead in demanding proof of these claims about Muslim extremists infiltrating the government.
No, it's not true.
Keith Ellison, who comes from Detroit, says Islam does in fact inform how he sees the world. He does make it clear though that his job is to represent a diverse congressional district and not a religion. Keith says in his own words, "I've never spoken as a religious authority. When I go to Friday prayers, I get in line like everybody else." At number 3, we have State Rep Ilhan Omar. So Ilhan Omar, she is serving as the U.S. representative of Minnesota's 5th Congressional District and America's first Somali American Muslim lawmaker. She brings a personal perspective to America's debate on admitting immigrants and refugees. And if anyone understands this, it's Ilhan. She and her family escaped Somalia's civil war and immigrated to the United States back in 1995. She has strongly opposed the immigration policies of the Trump administration, including Trump's travel ban.
We must also talk about Islamophobia. It's 2 sides of the same coin of bigotry. What we are fighting for is not for the few, but for the many.
Only 2 Americans left. Who are they? Of course, you know, Linda Sarsour. She had to be on this list.
I have been told numerous occasions, you're too visible, you're too loud, you're too outspoken. I'm not going to be humble to the point where I'm quiet.
Born in New York and of Palestinian descent, Linda Sarsour is a political activist as well as a co-founder of the Women's March. The Women's March was a worldwide protest on January 21st, 2017, which was the day after the inauguration of President Donald Trump.
I stand here before you, unapologetically Muslim American.
The world began to know Linda a lot more after she started becoming involved in civil rights issues including feminism, police brutality, as well as immigration. She has even marched with the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, because she's been outspoken about the issues that she addresses, a lot of criticism has come her way. Either way, many Muslims view her as the right kind of leader that the community needs today. Sheikh Hamza Yusuf comes in at number 1. Sheikh Hamza Yusuf converted to Islam as a young man, and he spent 2 decades studying with scholars in the Middle East as well as over in Africa.
Give 20 years of your life to study. 20 years of your life to study. I'm not making this up.
After returning to the United States, he found that young Muslims, they really flocked to his lectures, which often blended Islamic teachings with social commentary as well as literary criticism.
All these poor innocent people are begging non-Muslims to let them into their countries. If you humiliate a ruler, God will humiliate you.
Sheikh Hamza Youssef is a co-founder of the Zaytuna College, and this is America's first accredited Muslim liberal arts college. The college is located in California, and because his messages are so powerful, like when you hear him speak, you'll see what I'm talking about, some consider him to be the most influential Islamic scholar in the Western world, and that's why he comes in at #1 on this list.
You know, the world is filled with suffering, but don't forget it's also filled with the overcoming of suffering. Are you going to be on the side that's contributing to the suffering, or are you going to be on the side that's contributing to the alleviation of suffering?
So a question that I have for you guys out there is, who do you think is the most influential Muslim American? Sound off in the comment section down below, and you can answer even if you're not Muslim, whatever your religion or your spiritual beliefs are.